I want to welcome two of our special guests this afternoon, Reverend Amy Morehouse from the Episcopal Church of the Resurrection. She'll be leading us in our invocation, and our pledge of allegiance to the flag will be performed by Service Officer Alvin Wagner from the Loudoun County Office of Veterans Affairs. It's good to see everyone here tonight, so we're going to ask Ms. Morehouse to open our meeting, and then Mr. Wagner can lead us in the pledge. Let's stand, please.
Let us pray. Gracious and loving God, we lift up prayers of thanksgiving tonight for all the residents of Loudoun, for all of us who you have called to be neighbors, one with the other. I lift up prayers for the mayor, for all the city council members, all the city employees, and all those who are called to serve the public good. I particularly ask your prayers, gracious Lord, for all those who are first responders, all those who put themselves in harm's way for the sake of others. I ask you to guide this city council tonight, to give them courage and hope and wisdom as they look to the issues before them. Give all of us ears to listen and hearts to hear all the ways that you call us to serve one another. May we remember always to love our neighbors as ourselves. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming. I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight. I read just a brief statement about our meeting. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to the monthly meeting of the Loudoun City Council. My name is Mayor Jeff Harris, and on behalf of the council and the staff, I want to welcome you here tonight. Tennessee law gives every Tennessean the right to attend city council meetings and to observe how their government is doing business. We appreciate that each of you have taken time from your own personal schedules to be here tonight to see how our government works. You should have a copy of tonight's agenda. If you do not have one, there's some on the table in the back of the room. That's our guide to what we're going to be discussing tonight. In order to conduct efficient, business-like meetings, the council has adopted specific rules to follow. These rules are designed to keep the meeting moving, assure that all points of view are heard and considered, and to provide for common courtesy. In a few minutes, we'll come to the place on the agenda which is entitled Citizens Input. For anyone who has signed in to speak, the council is encouraged to do so. We do ask that you wait until you've been recognized before you approach the podium. Approach the podium and follow 3 simple rules. Please state your name for the records. Please address all your questions to the mayor as the chairman of the meeting, and avoid the use of improper language, profanity, and other improper conduct. Once the citizens' input portion of the meeting is over, the council will proceed with the remainder of the agenda. You're welcome to stay and observe the meeting, but be advised that public comments will be limited. We ask that everyone remember we're doing the people's business here tonight, a very important responsibility for all of us. You can help us do this business by observing the rules we've established. Again, welcome to the Loudoun City Council meeting. We're glad you're here tonight. According to the clipboard, no one signed in for citizens' input. Okay, everyone did receive a copy of the agenda in their packet. I'm sure everybody's had a chance to look over that. Is there any corrections to that agenda, anything? If not, I'd ask for a motion to adopt the agenda.
I have a question.
Okay.
Why was the split of the city manager, utility manager not placed on the agenda?
I don't know that that was enough support to put that on there. It was not come up, to my knowledge, to place that on the agenda.
I also had not put that on the list.
What do you mean enough support?
I didn't get the feeling from the discussion that it was to be put on there, but now, if that needs to be added to the agenda now, we can do that with a consent, I guess, unanimous consent to add that to the agenda, if that's something we need to do.
I make a motion to add that to the agenda.
Have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion, and a second, to add that to the agenda. Attorney Ross, does that, or Attorney Fry, does that need to be,
No, not a roll call.
okay. All those in favor to add that to the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. No, I say I vote no. So, 4-1 to add that? Okay. With that change, do we have a motion to adopt the agenda with that change?
Make a motion to adopt the agenda.
With that change?
With that change.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Everyone else? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries to approve the agenda. Next item. on-
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Before we get into that, Mr. Alvin Wagner, who was the veteran that led us in the pledge, he informed me that in coming tonight, he would like to share a few words about the office that he administers and the services that they provide.
Okay. All right, Mr. Wagner.
3 rules, right? 3 rules? My name's Alvin Wagner. There's the first rule, right? I'm the Loudoun County Veteran Service Officer for Loudoun County. I just wanted to provide you all some background information, what's been happening in the 7-8 months since I've been there. So a little background information. The state of Tennessee requires, can everybody hear me okay? Requires that all service officers be accredited through the Tennessee Department of Veteran Services office in Nashville. This is a 40-hour course of instruction taught at the TDVS in Nashville, Tennessee. Prior to attending, the potential service officer must first complete and pass a 40-hour online training requirement. Until we are accredited, we are not permitted to conduct any work associated with veterans benefits. I was accredited on 12 June last year. In addition, the state requires a service officer to be a veteran, and Loudoun County requires I be a resident of Loudoun County. I am a 24-year honorably discharged Navy veteran, and I live 2 miles east of Philadelphia on Kaiser Road. We took up residency here in September 2015 and after I retired as a defense contractor. The minimum requirements for this job are typically a bachelor's degree in public or business administration and 1 or more years of experience in Veterans Affairs. I meet that minimum requirement with a Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration, and I also have a master's degree in Homeland Security. Additional experience with social work and or nursing are also beneficial and is something I concentrate on when I'm hiring my assistant. Roles and responsibilities. I am responsible for assisting veterans and their immediate family with filing claims for compensation and or benefits. Additionally, we aid veterans with obtaining proof of military service, medical records, home loan guarantee information, identification cards, and answering a plethora of other veterans' questions and concerns. I try to make appointments for all customers to avoid them having to wait all day to see me. Anybody who's been a veteran and been in the VA system knows how painful it is to wait in line all day. The initial visit allows me to speak face-to-face with the veteran to ensure we all have a comprehensive understanding of what the veteran is trying to achieve. Furthermore, this is the time to inform the veteran or the claimant of their obligations specific to eligibility documentation. Tennessee state requirements for documenting veterans. VetraSpec is a database that state service officers use to update and track the progression of a veteran's claim. I currently maintain 2 licenses for VetraSpec, which are updated annually at a combined cost of $950. When I started here last June, that database held 965 veterans. It now holds 1,352. In addition to VetraSpec, I also have access to the VA's website through an application entitled Veterans Benefits Management System, which allows me to basically see a veteran's progression from the whole time they've been in the VA system. The rules change monthly, so we got to know what they've done prior because it requires different paperwork. I gave each one of the council members up here, the mayor, a handout. I'm just going to briefly talk about that. Loudoun County, and these are 2018 numbers, by the way. Loudoun County has 4,995 veterans who receive compensation, pension, education, vocational rehabilitation, or medical care benefits exceeding $28.5 million annually. That's Loudoun County, of which $20 million is specific to compensation and pensions. That is money going to veterans in their homes in this county, and that money is spent on rent, mortgages, and hopefully everything else in this county. And I broke all that out in that chart you see there on Table 1. Table 2 breaks out the actual number of veterans receiving VA compensation or benefits and percentages specific to the rating. These numbers will be updated in May this year with the 2019. The total expenditures for Congressional District Number 2 is $369 million a year. And the state totals $2.8 billion a year in expenditures from veterans. Table 3 through 6, those are providing the respondent burden time to complete a veteran's claim for various pensions or compensation. I'm just providing this so you can see the man hours required to complete each one of these. And that's on a good day. Of the 1,352 veterans in my database right now, 502 are residents of Loudoun City. So 41% of them come from this city. 22% Lenore City, and the rest are spread throughout Greenback, Philadelphia, and the county. Concerns. My office is located in the Rome State University building at 100 West Broadway at the opposite end of the library. I do not control the environment where I work. When a veteran comes into my space, he has to first check into the American Job Center. I don't have a sitting area for them. I don't have a place to put brochures, handouts, or anything. Like I said, each veteran who has an appointment must first check into the American Job Center. 70, 80, and 90-year-old people do not like doing a touchpad. Take my word for it. And it's a requirement by the AJC. So, in summary, the purpose of this evening's brief is to keep decision makers apprised of the complexity and time requirements for myself to adeptly assist this county's veteran population. Loudoun County Veteran Service Officer is currently allocated one full-time, myself, and one part-time employee. She is currently 20 hours a week. I've just put into our county budget to get her up to 40, and she's actually going to get accredited end of April, early May. So for the next budget year, I request a couple of CPUs just to get me updated. We just got updated to Windows 10 and Office 365, and my CPUs, I think, are about 20 years old, and they can't handle that very well. So future goals are to dedicate at least one day each week for getting out into the community with either awareness booths at local businesses like Home Depot, Walmart, Ingalls, and setting up awareness booths in Friendsville, Philadelphia, or Greenback. Our veterans do not know what they don't know, and it's my responsibility to ensure they're given the necessary information needed to make informed decisions. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for coming. Any questions for Mr. Wagner? Thank you for the job you do. Thank you, Manager Ross, for pulling me back on the track there. Next item is approval of the minutes from January 27th, 2020.
Mr. Mayor, I reviewed the minutes with Mr. Ford, who was here in my place last month, and they appear accurate.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I make a motion to receive and file minutes.
Motion made by James, have a
I'll
second.
second.
Second by Dixon. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is ordinance for second reading. Ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of the City of Loudoun, Tennessee, amending section 14-604, standards of signs, billboards, and other advertising structures.
Yes, this is a second reading. This has additionally cleared the Planning Commission. Just for the benefit of the audience who wasn't at previous readings, generally this allows for signage exceptions during a specific period of time before an election. There's been some questions in the past as to when and how election signs are put out. This will define a specific time, basically lines up with Loudoun County and Lenore City on when these election signs can be put out before an election.
Okay, then clarification on that. Do I have a motion to approve this on second reading?
I'll make a motion to accept the ordinance. Second.
Okay, roll call vote, please. Any questions about it before we vote? I think we, as Manager Ross said, we discussed it at the workshop, 3:30, we talked about it for a while. Okay, roll call vote.
Vice Mayor Dixon,
Yes.
Councilmember Brewster,
Aye.
Councilmember Vivens, Councilmember James, Mayor Harris.
Aye. Motion passes on second reading. Next item on the agenda is resolutions. First resolution is the assurance of adequate funding level of the self-funded health benefit plan. Manager Ross.
Yes, this is different language than we've used in the past rather than renewal, because questions have been raised by stakeholders, current employees, about the adequate level of funding of the health plan. So we are titling the resolution as such and including specific numbers inside the resolution as to how much additional funding will go into the plan to help shore it up. Specifically, you can see here a tracking of years past, including the current year, which is farthest to the right, which will show the per employee contribution to the health fund plan, as well as a contribution for that employee's family. Due to the increase, we have to amend this year's budget to carry us through the end of the fiscal year. That budget amendment will carry the value shown, $86,736.
Okay.
By approving adequate funding resolution to the plan, you are in effect amending your budget to this amount.
Any questions concerning that?
I make a motion, we amend the budget and leave the employees' insurance as he is.
That's what this does. Yes.
I'll second.
Any questions about that? One thing I'd like to, Manager Ross, to explain a little bit. I think it's recommended that a committee be formed
Yes,
every month.
discussed this earlier today at the LUB board meeting. We're advised on this, and I made some recommendations last year. This year, I'll let you hear from the experts directly, and I think going forward, it'd be wise to have a committee made up of a member of this city council, a member of the Loudoun Utility Board, representatives from the employee ranks of the city and utility, as well as representatives from the community, both a ratepayer and a City of Loudoun resident. So we can get our heads around this a little sooner than renewal season and explore best options for sustainability.
I think that's a good idea, and then they report back to the board and to council, the recommendation. Okay, any other discussion about it or questions? Do we have a motion and a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Motion carries. Next resolution is approving the bid award for Highland Avenue Improvement Project subject to approval of the state of Tennessee.
Yes, February 20th, we received our bids for Highland Avenue repaving. This follows the Highland Avenue line replacement of last year. Low bid is APAC Atlantic at $192,000.
It's going in the right direction. We're closer to getting it paved.
This should commence at the opening of paving season. Cannon estimates at the end of April is when you would likely see action on this road.
Okay. Okay, we have the bid that's been sent in by APAC. We have a motion to approve the bid.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second the motion.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carries. Next item, authorizing the continued vehicle replacement program of city vehicles.
Yes, as we discussed in our workshop, and just for the benefit of all, many vehicles driven in various departments are part of the Ford Motor Company's government trade program every year. For the most part, especially the F-150 style trucks, we're able to trade those at even pennies and receive a new truck in exchange. This particular Ford model is an F-150. It's a 2019 being traded in for a 2020 model at the police department.
Okay? Any discussion? Not, I'll ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion to continue.
I'll second.
Okay, have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Motion carries. Next is approving the donation of 2 Ford Crown Victorias to the Blount County Sheriff's Department.
Yes, in our workshop, Chief Webb shared with us an opportunity that his department had to donate these 2 old Crown Victorias to a law enforcement training academy, which our department utilizes on a regular basis. And it just seems like a good opportunity to put these old vehicles to good use in training future officers.
I think it's a practice you've done before, right, Chief Webb? This is, okay. Do I have a motion to donate the 2 Crown Vics to Blount County Sheriff Department?
I'll make a motion to approve the donation.
Second.
Okay, have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Motion carries. Next item, authorizing police department obsolete equipment to be considered surplus.
Yes, Chief Webb started his spring cleaning early this year, and there is a long list of old office equipment, including computers and whatnot, that we'd like to place on Gov Deals. I have an itemized list if anyone would like to view it, but this is something that we do from time to time on a regular basis, utilizing the Gov Deals website.
As Chief Webb mentioned last at the workshop, all the hard drives have been stripped out, and so everything's cleaned out, ready to dispose of. Do I have a motion to authorize the police department to obsolete the equipment?
I'll make a motion.
Have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, thank you. Have a motion and a second. Any questions?
I have one question. Telco, if it's computers, Telco Village has a club that redeals computers and donates them to kids in our school system. If you have any of those, if I get you in contact, can instead of trying to sell them for nothing on government deals, let's try to donate them to Telco Village Computer Club.
They do a real good job too. They made a presentation at Rotary and they do a real good job. Real good.
Yeah, however you need to do that, I know if you declare it surplus and you vote that I'm supposed to sell them on Gov Deals, and that's what I have to do, but if there's some way that we could put an asterisk beside that and say if there's any that could be donated to that organization, I'd be willing to have
We made a motion.
Yeah, I made a motion on that, so I'll amend my original motion to add in their computers to the Telco Village.
What can be saved?
What can be salvaged to them.
Sure, I'll contact them and have them come and look and see if there's anything they want, we'll get.
Who seconded it?
John James,
Is that okay with you, Johnny, in a second? John, is that okay with you, you second?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay, all right. Good idea, Councilman Brewster, thanks for bringing that up. Okay, we need to vote, I guess we didn't vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, approving the painting of park shelter roofs.
Yes, these are 2 quotes Mark Carroll and Parks and Rec Department put forward for authorization. It ended up being 2 contracts for painting. One is $9,990 for shelter roofs at Riverside Park. The other is $4,900 for the painting of the Merrimont shelter roof at Loudon Municipal Park.
Okay,
Those roofs are in terrible shape, so I make a motion.
okay, Councilman Brewster makes the motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Vice Mayor Dixon made second, any questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed, no? Any motion carries. Next item is approving infield sod installation.
Yes, there's 4 ball fields at Loudon Municipal Park. One in particular is underutilized due to the condition of the infield. This contract with Crossroads Sod Farm for $14,900 with sod to infield, hopefully in time for this year's baseball season.
That's field number 1, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Do I have a motion that we approve the infield sod installation? Okay.
Second.
Councilman Brewster and Vice Mayor Dixon. Any questions? All right, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? No? All right. Next is approving sprigging, I guess, of Loudon Municipal Park ball fields. That looks like a misspelled word, but
Sprigging's a thing. Instead of rolling out sod, they're plugged in, so to speak, to help the condition of the field. This will be the sprigging of all fields at Loudon Municipal Park. It's an additional agreement with Crossroads Sod Farm for $10,000.
okay. Do I have a motion that we approve the sprigging of Loudon Municipal Park ball fields? That's 4 infields.
I so move.
Thank you, Councilman James. Have a second?
I'll second.
Councilmember Bivens, second. Any questions?
Mark,
Question?
are we gonna sprig it this year?
Yes, that's correct. It will not be spread probably till May, probably about the time ball season's finishing up. But he said the play on the field wouldn't
Where's
hurt.
it affected?
The sod, as soon as it gets dry enough, the spring will be made.
Have a bigger impact next year, I guess.
That's correct.
Yeah.
It'll be the same type of tear as the one on the infield, field 1.
Okay. Got a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? No. All right. Next item is approving improvements to the Loudon Municipal Park ballpark service access.
Yeah, the spaces between the fields is not in a great condition. It's oftentimes muddy and impassable. This would install sidewalk paths in areas between the fields. The contract is with East Tennessee Utility and Excavation for $9,944.18. We do have a tab of sorts with Van Husco for a transaction that occurred earlier. There's the sale of the Williamson House, which is property neighboring the Van Husco company, in exchange for approximately $150,000 worth of concrete. And it's estimated that we would use 45 yards of concrete for said improvements at a cost of $118 per yard. So we're contracting with an installer who will be supplied by Van Husco at those amounts.
Okay, we have a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
James, motion second. Any questions?
So this does cover installation of the concrete as well? That won't be an extra?
Mark, I believe that the contractor is handling that.
Yes, the contractor gets the 9,000, and then there's an additional 45 or 55.
For the material? Okay,
So we did not pay for the contract we had with Van Husco.
so this is for, okay.
How are we managing that transaction with that? Did we create a line item for the 150,000 concrete?
This is our really our first large instance of that tab, and we will simply see what is taken here at the cost of $118 a yard, and that will be applied to the tab.
Nicole, are you keeping it?
Yes.
Okay.
And I may already added, we met with Jeff Van Hoos about this, and 3 of us are gonna keep tabs as well. I'm gonna keep it, Ellis will keep it, and Jeff, so, and along with, so there's 4 people watching.
Okay. All right, any other questions? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? No? Okay, next item is added, we'll take it now, the split of city manager, LED manager roles for his position.
I'll make a motion that we split the 2 positions.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any idea how we're going to pay for that? Or,
Mayor Harris, can we speak now since this was added?
Can I answer that question first?
Sure. Yeah, you
Because I
can.
think that'll help a lot. I would like to open it up internally, see if we have any internal employees who would be interested in this position. If we have some-
Eventually you will.
No, just be quiet, please.
See if we had any employees that would be interested in this position, we have some local department heads, and just employees in general. So see if they would be interested in the position, and that would save us the money and the insurance right there.
That they would have their job plus the city manager job. Both jobs, their department head job plus the city
No,
manager.
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, depending on what their position would be, I mean, we couldn't take all employees and split both of them, but we could always rearrange internally.
Okay, we've had a motion and a second. I'm sorry, but I think it'd be out of turn to let the audience speak on this. It was discussed at the last workshop, so I guess we'll ask for a vote.
Mayor, how would it be out of turn? You added this to the agenda late. We didn't get notice of this.
There's already a motion and a second on the floor, there's no further debate.
Unbelievable.
Personally, I think this is the wrong direction, but, you know, we've had a motion and a second put on the floor. So, our Robert's Rule of Order will come to a vote.
It's not right.
I'll ask for a roll call vote.
Councilmember Vivens,
Aye.
Councilmember Brewster,
Aye.
Councilmember Dixon,
No.
Councilmember James,
No.
Mayor Harris,
No.
2 to 3.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll go to department reports. They've got another celebrity in the audience. So we'll start off with the bang. Let's start with Mike Brubaker, Chief Brubaker.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I get to the big winner here, I want to talk about we recently hired 2 full-time firefighters. We had 2 firefighters resign last year to seek other employment opportunities. And we went through an extensive process that we always do. We did a extensive physical agility test, a written exam, interviews with the officers of the Loudon Fire Department, interview with HR as well. So that was an extensive process we completed. And our 2 firefighters that rose to the top of that process was firefighter Colby Kaiser. Colby, you please stand. And firefighter Jake Quinn right beside him. These two both come to us as full-time members from other fire departments. They have a vast amount of experience in the fire service, as well as a wealth of certification. So they come to us already trained and certified. We plug them right into shifting. So they've been working about a month now, I believe. So now getting to our celebrities, the mayor pointed out, and I'm going to ask Captain Jean to come up here.
He just flew in. He flew in from Nashville just for this.
That was a joke. Wasn't very funny. So to give you all probably saw on Facebook, Captain Jean was just received the 2019 State of Tennessee VFW Firefighter of the Year Award. And to give you a background how he got there, in 2018 he won the City of Loudon Firefighter of the Year Award. In 2019, you may remember, he was elected as the county VFW Firefighter of the Year, as Officer Russell was for the police department. Then he went on to the district, and there was 12 counties in our district. He won the district award. You know, he was nominated of all the fellow other candidates there. So he went to the state presentation, and he beat the other 12 candidates, was selected as the winner of the state. So at the award ceremony in Nashville, Murfreesboro Saturday, he was given a proclamation showing him as the state winner, and now he's also elected as our state of Tennessee representative for the national award. So he's up for the national award for state of Tennessee, or the firefighter of the year, and that winner will go to Washington D.C. and meet the president. So if he's lucky enough to get that, he'll get a trip to D.C. out of it. So also, he also on Saturday received a nice plaque from the state VFW, and he also received a $500 award for getting that.
Yeah.
So he's won quite a bit. His little joke he told me he was flown to Nashville today by Representative Russell to meet the governor, which wasn't true. So.
I had a job
Sorry, I
in Nashville,
misspoke.
so I was down there and I just figured it.
I was going on false information.
So I just want to give you all a recap of how he got where he's got to, but we're super proud of him. And it's awesome to have a firefighter from Loudon represented as a state winner for an award. And now he's on to the national level. Who knows, maybe he'll get.
All jokes aside, we were lucky to have it. Yeah, we should have.
Or 96 side.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go with Chief Webb. We'll let you follow that up, Chief.
Oh, no report.
Bar's been set too high. All right, Director Harrell?
No report tonight.
Is Director Scruggs here, Ellis?
Council's not here now.
Okay.
Sure you're not.
Okay. Director Curtis, do you have anything?
I'm happy to report our annual audit was completed last week, so you will have that information prior to our March workshop meeting.
All right, thank you. Director Brown, you have anything?
No, sir.
Okay. Any other department reports? I might have missed anybody. Got a lot of people here. Okay, thank you all for your report. Council member reports, this is an opportunity for a lot of these council members serve on different boards and different committees. This is an opportunity for them to, give an update on the committees that they serve. So I'll ask council member Bivens to give us a report on solid waste.
Solid Waste had a very, very good short meeting last 2 weeks ago. And everything is going well with Santec. The road is much better. I've not received any complaints on it. I know they're not all the way there yet, but have leaps and bounds done so many improvements. So we're tickled about that. They did get the PO for the wheel wash in, which is something that this council voted that we wanted to have the wheel wash in before we as stakeholders would agree on their amendment to their contract. So that PO is in, and the wheel wash is in the process of being made and on its way to us. So that we are tickled about that. That's very exciting for the trash world. So that's the only report that I've got. But I would like to make a recognition. We have someone in the audience that hasn't been recognized.
Sure.
We've recognized their work, but we haven't actually recognized them. Andy Lawson is here, and I asked him if this would embarrass him before I did it, but he's here, and he's not the only one that did work, but he did the majority of the work on what do you call this? DICE and our podium. And I think they look wonderful, and he deserves some recognition for
Well, I think we
that.
recognized him at the last meeting, that there wasn't this many people.
Yeah, well, I think he was at the last meeting.
They might not be in, that's right.
Yeah, so his work got recognized, but not him, so he's done an amazing job, so good, wonderful job.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Councilmember Bivens. Vice Mayor Dixon, Planning Commission. He serves on the Planning Commission, Historical Zoning Commission, and give us an update on what Planning Commission is met on.
On the historical meeting, Chris Fields came and showed us a proposal that we approve a new sign over his new restaurant, which is the old Dr. Blair Harrison building, and that awning will say Sons of Smoke. And he told us that he would be operating on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, just the weekends. And the reason for that is because he has another job, and he couldn't fulfill being open during the week. So that was that. And there's a new sign at the Loudoun County Chamber of Commerce. They're putting up a new awning on that building also, for the Loudoun County Education Foundation and the Chamber of Commerce. And then the zoning appeals, we had one gentleman that came and was wanting to build a home on Collins Street in an R1 low density neighborhood. So we approved that. Subdivision out on 1021 Matlock Bend Road. There was approximately 5.5 acres owned by James Purdy that was approved for, there'll be 5 homes built there. Approximately 1 acre, 1.1 acre each, I think. The final plat of the Cedar Grove subdivision of 30 lots was approved by the Loudoun Planning Commission also. The owner is Brian Pettit, which will be a subdivision out there behind Burger King. The that's it.
Okay, all right, thank you.
That's enough.
All right, thank you, Vice Mayor Dixon. Councilmember Brewster serves on the Recreational Advisory Committee. Do you have any reports, Councilmember Brewster?
Committee meets again tomorrow. Right now, we're all on board building the new rec center for Loudoun. Right now, the location, we're flipping the coin on it between down at the riverfront property or at the baseball complex. So we'll make that decision tomorrow on where to go.
And you'll report back, we'll have a regular report back to us how that committee moves forward with that. Anything else from Recreational Advisory Committee?
Not the recreational advisory.
Okay. Other business? Manager Ross, you have anything else?
Well, it came up at the workshop, and I remember Colonel Nash requested more information on agenda item requests. And as a staff, we've talked amongst ourselves about how we might bring some process to that, some more transparency, some more information, what is behind a talking point, basically. And I've got a form, that we can review. It's not going to allow me to pull it up. Basically, what the form would do is the agenda item would have a date that it's requested, who it's requested by, a subject matter of the agenda request, and an agenda item summary, in the form of a paragraph, what the basic thought process is, or justification for the agenda item request. And I just submit to you, Mayor, and the council, and the community as a whole, and ask, is this something that we think would be helpful?
Yeah, I looked at the form Director Curtis showed to him. I think it's, if you want something on the agenda, you kind of spell out a little bit of specifics about what your talking points are. Kind of gives some idea of the direction for that agenda item. And I think Director Curtis made it so you can actually type in on the form on the computer, correct? You don't have to print it off, write it in, scan it and all that, so you can actually do it.
I don't know that it'd be a good idea of doing a summary, because you're borderline breaking the sunshine law, saying this is what we're gonna talk about, and this is what we might vote on.
I think it's just a brief, just like we have, it's here in front of us now, just a short.
I disagree. I think as the thought leaders of the community, you should explain your thoughts.
I mean, you're not
That's why we
trying
have a meeting.
to impose your.
I still think it's necessary to add unnecessary drama to public meetings with mysteries and question marks.
We should all know
Again,
what's gonna be discussed.
You can stand behind your ideas and explain yourself, and, you know, that's a problem.
Who needs to receive the form?
We received the form here at this building, either by fax or email.
So would that be Nicole? Would it be able to come to? Okay. So that'll be the process we'll go forward with, to get something on the agenda. See how that works. Okay?
In addition, and I think this helps with transparency, our IT department has assigned email addresses for each of you, and we'll be supplying you with tablets so that you can have an easy way to submit forms like this and utilize city email that's stored on our servers.
Okay, anything else? Any other business?
I have a few questions for the city manager. I know you've been busy, but I need an update on a few things. The drainage problem down at the corner of Ferry Street and Poplar Street across from the bake shop, how are we gonna resolve that issue?
Well, Scruggs isn't here, but we've been working on it. What's amazing is through the past 2 to 3 weeks of severe rains we had, it hasn't backed up a single time.
This is a carryover from the previous council. Councilman James, remember we discussed this as a previous council, and the property owner wouldn't, at that time, wouldn't cooperate. I think was correct. Well, now he may be different now, but.
We have made efforts to clean out these drains, and again, past couple of weeks, you can't ask for more rain, and it has carried the load.
We can follow up with Director Scruggs.
Absolutely.
Is the contractor, the demolition team gone from the Hutch area? Are they cleared out?
Please tell that that contract expired earlier this month.
I brought it up last month about they destroyed some streets. Did we make adjustments on that?
I'm sorry, I don't have specifics on that.
I brought it up in the meeting.
I didn't know, I don't have any locations or thoughts behind that single sentence.
It's Highway 11 and Poplar Street and Gay Street and Poplar Street.
I'll get with the Director Scruggs and we'll have a look at it. One of the great opportunities of that property, I'm talking about the dozen acres of Hutch property, which is now our waterfront property, is it's really a blank slate, and those street grids could actually move to accommodate future development. So building it back pristine at this point could be a waste of resources, given what development could come in the future.
Yeah, a street there now may not be a street in the future.
Exactly.
Well, Highway 11 and Poplar Street, beside Veterans Park, I don't foresee that ever moving. If you go out there, like I requested last month, the contractor, he was running overloaded trucks. He's destroyed that street right there, and he should be responsible.
We can do that investigation, sir.
Okay. That's something else. Can you talk to me?
Can I ask when? Because it didn't happen last month.
I'll get with Director Scruggs this week. He's at a child's, he's at a child's event tonight that he attended. He didn't have anything on the agenda. And
Okay.
he told me he would be with his children tonight.
We'll follow up with Director Scruggs on that.
We had also talked about establishing our own city planning commission. Instead of letting the
We
county-
haven't talked about that other than a conversation. You stopped by my office one day.
I think that would need to be a workshop item.
Well, why hadn't it been brought up? Why didn't it be put on the agenda?
We have a contract with the county to supply $25,000 of contribution to a joint planning department at this time.
But we all know there's issues with that department.
No, we don't, sir. I think you would need to have to explain those issues and tell us exactly what they are.
And that would need to be, that could come up in a workshop discussion, and that's where we need to take it up at.
So you didn't check in, because you told me you was going to a meeting in Blount County, talking to the state about it. Remember that?
East Tennessee Development District does offer planning services, and I did discuss with him, the director of the East Tennessee Development District, what a fee structure could be in the future. But again, we're under a current contract, and to do something without apprising the county and the various employees and stakeholders in and around that department, I think would be a mistake.
Right, this council has approved that budget item already, so we're in contract with them.
We can, the contract states we can give a 30-day notice.
That's something we would want to do in concert with our county brothers and sisters.
I think we need to have a lot of discussion on that. My personal viewpoint.
Tim, has the planning commission had any issues?
Here lately, the last few meetings, no. But for a few meetings when I very first started, we had a few issues. But now the last, I'm gonna say the last 3 meetings, we've had no issues. Everything's been approved with no problem whatsoever.
I think the county takes the lead with that. We're just, with the planning department.
We're just we're a donor agency.
At our workshop, we talked about the $1 million work, the rear walk grant. Exactly how did we lose that grant?
I don't recall talking about it at the workshop, but we didn't lose the grant. The timing of the grant and the federal requirement that we have preliminary engineered plans and specifications ready to bid in May of this year did not exactly line up with our corporate partners that we're working with to try and place, in and around our waterfront. So you really need to know where you're going to put a river walk before you design it, and we just couldn't lay it down with enough specificity to satisfy the high standard of federal engineering requirements for that bid.
And I think the language is not correct to say we lost it. We just reapply.
We reapplied. This is an annual grant through TDOT.
The time constraints didn't work out for what we had spent.
It's much better to be upfront with the agency, explain to them what your issues are, and then work out some remedial measures than to fail a deadline, and force the state of Tennessee to have to return that money. Here, they can reallocate it to other grant recipients and help spread the wealth around the state.
It's confusing because it's even in the News Herald, Loudon receives $1 million Riverwalk grant, ready to proceed with it. And all of a sudden, I hadn't seen no documentation, it's gone.
There's actually 2 grants.
We applied for one next year. We was gonna merge.
It's an annual grant, yeah. We just, the timing didn't line up for some specific deadlines later this spring.
So why didn't we meet the deadline?
Because we don't know exactly how the different improvements coming from the private sector will lay out there.
Okay, is that it? Have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Have a second? All right, this meeting is adjourned. Thank y'all for coming.